All right, we're on hole number 6 of the big game 9-hole cup. Milano. Let's check out hole number 6. I don't even remember hole number 6. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. I'm on Tommy's site. Golf Clash Notebook has the Milano, but they're not updating their stuff. And Golf Clash Notebook is why I started shooting videos. I finally got access to images of the hole so that I could get my pen and we could really write it off. And this hole right here, oh man, I got a history with this hole. First of all, we were doing a tournament one time and I was in the perfect spot. I came in here and I just barely missed the Albie. I mean, barely missed it. And here's the cup and I'm like 2.5 squares away and I missed the putt. I have no idea what happened. I have no idea. What happened was I was getting like lag and I got a lag and I missed the cup on like a putt that, I was so pissed off, and it was early in the round. It was like on hole 3. And I was so pissed off that I luckily didn't throw my tablet. I left the house and was gone all day. It was on a Sunday. And I came home and I was freaking pissed. My wife's like, "Are you going to play?" And I'm like, "I am." And I was just like pissed off and I sat down and I tore it up after that and ended up winning that tournament after missing that putt. But this hole is the reason that I started shooting videos. Because when this hole first came out, 2 of the guys that shoot videos that are out there, and at the time there was really only 2 people that were shooting videos, were all like, the only way that you can play this hole from Ricky is to go over here. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? This is like the shittiest second shot ever. There is a second shot here, but look at the shadow where you're trying to come in here. You're either going to come up on this and have to do some backspin or get on the green and do some backspin, or if you're trying to do a rough bump, you're on this type of hill right here. I mean, it is bad. The opportunity to hit a bounce and go straight up in the air and end up back over here in the rough, I mean, you've seen it. If you've seen anybody hit to the other side, I'm not saying you can't get up on the other side, but you have not done yourself any favors. And it's like, why are we doing that when we can do a max curl shot and get out into this range? And we've got 2 options. If you get out there far enough, you can do a rough bump right here and go straight at the cup. Or you can do a bounce off of this island and go and get on the cup. And if you fail really far down here, like you overshoot it and you end up in the rough down here, if you've got an upper developed Nirvana, you can recover. And you can still get up there and recover. Like, what are you guys, why the hell would I want to go over here? And this is a tough ass shot to get into the perfect spot. And then you still got now you got a shit. This is one of those things where you worked really hard and you were like, yes, I finally got it. And then you look around and you're like, why the hell did I do that? Because this shot sucks. So I actually like this hole, even though this hole has ate my lunch on that one occasion. And the thing about this hole is that I'm always close, but it does seem like it's just tricky to get the ball to go in. Now I kind of like this pin placement as opposed to where it was before here. So let me zoom in a little bit on that. See if we got a good mark. So the thing about the pin being right here is you can see the shadow on this, so that when you were doing your rough bump to come in, you were coming at it from a little bit of an angle, and you wanted to stay as far to the right as you could to try and get out of that shadow and get over here where it was a little bit flatter. But you had to have side spin. So it didn't necessarily take an irregular bounce, but how it came out was kind of tricky. So where we're at right now, being a little bit deeper into the green and the rough being farther away, we may or may not be able to do a rough bump. Now, traditionally, you're taking the second shot with a wood. And so I suppose you might be able to get it done with a Goliath, depending on what ball combo you bring out. And this is another one of these holes. This is an old hole, and this green is massive. And on this particular spot, the old spot, if you overshoot the hole and you come in here a little bit too hot, you will roll off the back. And even if you don't roll off the back, this putt out here is not makeable. It's a max overpower putt, and you may not even be, and you can't see the cup. It's difficult, but it is super easy if you hit it with any speed at all. It'll just keep rolling. They cut the green so that not only is it downhill, but it's cut to the point where it's like glass going in this direction. And it's easy to get off the back. So it'll be interesting to see what the angles look like here, whether we can still do a rough bump. And I'm going to bring out just a regular Power 3 ball, and we will see what we can get done. Now, on the drive, I have traditionally always taken this drive with a quarterback. You can do it with a quarterback or a rock. Whatever club you have that has the most curl. So if you got lower developed stuff, you're probably talking about a quarterback. If you've got mid-level stuff, you're probably talking rock, quarterback, whichever one has the most curl. So if you got an APOC and it's got a lot of curl, more curl than those clubs, then take your APOC. I like doing it with a rock, and I might switch to this bag right here just to see. Let me switch this up. I'm going to take a rock and I'm going to switch this to a sniper. So if I can get it with my sniper, I will. But I want to bring a Goliath just in case if I'm not sure what the distance is out there. And I hardly ever play with my Goliath. So I'll bring a... It's better on shots like this, at least the old hole placement, to bring out a 3 sidesman ball, because you may, in order to get farther to the right to get away from that deep spot, you'd want more side spin to get you farther away. But it looks like from where it's at right now is that it's a little bit straighter on. So let's try it with it. We'll try it with a Titan. The king of balls. That's right. That's right. Hole number, whatever it is, 6. Yeah, fun. This was the hole right here that I had thought about. I'd been shooting videos for my buddy Scooby to try and teach him the wind ring method. So it was when the game first came out and the wind ring method was really, really new. And at that time, Tommy didn't use the wind ring method. He had a different method. And I actually watched the video where he was talking about what he did instead of the wind ring method. And I use what I learned in that every day ever since I watched that video. And it's all about, this is one of the reasons why I'm always like 2 rings off, or like looking at the thing and saying, hey, I'm setting it up so that I've wedged my rings up so that you have a starting spot, and then working that starting spot to death. And that's going to be way too much topspin. I'm just going to let, and that still might be way too much topspin. Still might be way too much. I'm going to go with like just a little. I'd rather be a little short here. 4. Hit it 1 ring great to the right. I'm in the rough. Ooh, just barely missed it. And that's definitely short of where I wanted to be. Usually on those shots, when I'm doing a max curl shot, I'm at least 3 rings out. If you're using a quarterback, if you're using a quasar, you can be 3 rings off. You don't have to do overpower on it. You can, depending on which way the wind's blowing. Whenever you're doing max curl, leaving yourself enough room for the curl to become effective, and thinking about where the curl is going to lead you on the other end. This is definitely a shot, depending on your clubs, you were going to want to practice. And it's not good to be short. I'm going to see where I'm at, and if I don't like that, I'm going to move the ball to where I was actually trying to hit. We'll see. Yeah, so I could bounce off that island. So that's one of the things about being over here is you can bounce off the island now. You can either do a second bounce rough bump, or you could try and get it up there. But I'm going to hit the ball to where I was actually trying to hit. And where I was actually trying to hit is like right in this area right here. Not trying to push my luck against the rough line out there, that transition line, but you want to get a little bit closer. No, I gave my opponent the opportunity. We all know what the rough shot would look like. We're not coming out here in the tournament to try, and this is why it's called practice. We're not coming out here to try and hit rough shots. It's nice to know if you're in those areas. Like, it's nice to know, hey, if you do short shoot it like that or that happens, that you can still get up on the green. But the whole idea is to practice this shot right here. So there's max, there's min. So I'm at mid club. I think in the past we've always taken a little bit of wind off. I'm going to do 2.5. And I'm at mid club, so 1.1. I'm going to do maybe 2.2. I look like 2.5. I'm going to treat the wind as 2.5. Just needed to pull it just a little bit more. Let's see what that math would have been. I actually have my calculator sitting here and I didn't have it ready. Was that 2.5 wind divided by 1.1? It would have been 2.27 rings. If I just did a straight up number. And at that point with my sniper, it would have been 1.1. Yep, that would have been 2.27, and I'll have to go back and watch that and see what I did. I think I did right around 2.27. Did not pull it enough. Excellent. Excellent. All right. That's what it looks like on that hole. So I really, now when you watch people play that hole, there's very few people that are going to play on the left-hand side. But it was funny and there's still a few holes out in the game that I can watch people play, and if they shoot, I can tell who they learned how to play this hole from by where they hit it. So like if they hit over to here, I know that they've, probably learned from one of those two people, and that this is where, like, hey man, you hit over here. But this is not a good area. There's a couple holes in the game I can tell where people have hit, because it's like, okay, hey, you just relegated yourself to a bad deal as opposed to hitting over here. All right, there you have it. That is, and I like this hole. We have a great opportunity for Albie on this. Once we figure out, and it looks like on this side, it's a little flatter than it is over here. Like the green is like sloped up like this, and then you've got this super steep little hill right here. So I'll have to work on what the adjustment is to get to the cup in this new spot. But it is a straight up. It doesn't look like we're going to need a lot of curl like we did before in order to move out into the flat over here. This should be a good spot for us. And this is a very, very albiable hole. Very albiable. And it's fairly easy to get into the good spot right off the bat. All right. There you have it. That was hole number 6. Thanks for watching.